On a high-volume production line, a single seized bearing or jammed gear instantly creates a backlog that costs thousands of dollars a minute. The longer the line remains down, the faster delivery schedules collapse. To diagnose that failure, teams often rely on fragmented spreadsheets, scattered email threads, and rushed guesswork. The pressure to get the line moving again forces quick patches instead of a thorough investigation. The 8D problem-solving workbench provides a disciplined, AI-guided methodology. It enforces a structured step-by-step process to systematically isolate failures rather than relying on unverified theories. To start, you will need an active Workbench account, the basic details of a recent failure event, and an understanding of your facility's quality management system. The objective of this framework is to replace temporary patches with a permanent, audit-ready solution that definitively eliminates repeat downtime. Look at this guided intake form. This is where we execute the first two disciplines, forming the team and defining the scope. Establishing a strict problem statement on day one keeps the team focused. It prevents the investigation from drifting into unrelated maintenance issues or hypothetical scenarios. Once the problem is defined, we move to Discipline 3, Interim Containment Actions. This step involves setting up immediate roadblocks, like quarantining suspect batches, to ensure no defective parts reach your customers. The platform includes built-in risk checks during this phase. Before a containment strategy is deployed, the system prompts the team to evaluate if quarantining a batch will accidentally trigger a secondary material shortage down the line. Many manufacturers skip containment entirely to rush straight toward a permanent fix. This mistake exposes the customer to ongoing defects while the investigation is still underway. Rapid, verified containment establishes a firewall. It protects your supply chain and buys your team the exact amount of time needed to conduct an objective, thorough investigation. In Discipline 4's Deep Why analysis, the AI takes the problem and branches it into parallel paths of inquiry, suggesting multiple viable answers. It objectively tests each theory against evidence, collapsing incorrect branches until a single proven line traces to the root cause. Without this structure, traditional investigations often devolve into endless debates. Teams get trapped in subjective logic loops, pursuing their own biases rather than following the physical evidence. Visualizing the branching logic turns root cause analysis into an objective science. The data dictates the conclusion, leaving no room for argument. Identifying the true root cause leads directly to Disciplines 5 and 6, developing and validating permanent corrective actions. The fix must target the precise failure point identified by the AI. This inverted pyramid represents the hierarchy of controls. The platform uses this mandatory standard to evaluate proposed fixes. An engineering control that physically prevents a jam will score significantly higher than simply issuing personal protective equipment to operators on the floor. To prove the corrective action works, we assign precise tracking metrics and future validation dates within the workbench. We must continually verify that the implemented fix holds up under the intense stress of daily production over time. Next is Discipline 7, Prevent Recurrence. This is where the focus shifts from repairing the physical machine to correcting the organizational processes that allowed the defect to slip through. On this QMS Sync dashboard, the platform flags the necessary updates required across your systems. You can directly track pending revisions for failure mode and effects analyses, standard operating procedures, and preventative maintenance schedules. Upgrading a machine component provides zero long-term value if the preventative maintenance schedule is never updated to actually lubricate or inspect that new part. A problem is permanently solved only when your entire quality management system evolves. The organization must absorb the new standard to anticipate and block the failure before it returns. Finally, we execute Discipline 8, Closure. The workbench automatically compiles the entire investigation into a clean executive summary, requiring no manual formatting from the team. During this stage, the system calculates the cost of poor quality, or COPQ. It explicitly logs the financial savings generated by implementing a permanent fix and preventing future downtime. Compare these two outputs. On the left is the chaotic, error-prone spreadsheet most teams rely on. On the right, the platform generates an audit-ready closure certificate PDF, complete with verified savings charts and digital sign-offs. Free tier users can instantly export and share these PDFs. For larger facilities, the Enterprise tier offers self-hosted, Docker-based deployment to ensure strict data residency and compliance. Gather the initial details of your most recent production failure. Open the platform and start your first guided intake today. Adopting the 8D framework eliminates reactive firefighting. It replaces plant floor chaos with an auditable, repeatable discipline that keeps production moving and protects the bottom line.